Hey guys, it's Brittany from Dahlia Flower Farm. You are getting this video because you bought one of our Dahlia tubers at our Dahlia tuber sale this year. And if you've never planted Dahlia tubers before, they can be a little challenging if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm going to do a quick video to send out to kind of help you all along, or if you are an experienced gardener, kind of reaffirm that what you're doing is correct. So we grow a lot of dahlias here on the farm. We are packing all of you guys' orders right now. I wanted to explain to you guys the difference between a clump and a tuber. So dahlias come from tubers, which look like these. They look like potatoes. This is what we call a clump. We dug this straight out of the ground, didn't divide it, we stored it. So it is a whole clump. It's got multiple tubers in one clump. Some of the varieties this year we are selling as clumps because they are a little bit difficult to divide, even for me. So if you're getting a clump, I would not recommend trying to divide it at home. What's going to happen is you're going to end up with a lot of non-viable tubers, a lot of tubers that don't have eyes. Each dahlia variety is different. So each variety has a different tuber growth habit, and some are just not very conducive to dividing. So this is one that we are not dividing this year. We're selling them as a straight clump. So if you get a clump from us like this, you're going to plant this guy straight into the ground like this. Other ones, you're going to get just a tuber, and I wanted to show you guys what these look like. So this is a Mr. Franz tuber. And you see how tiny this is? The size of the tuber does not matter. Size does not matter. A tiny tuber like this is going to grow just as well and just as big as this clump. You'll probably get more shoots off of the clump, but the plants are going to be very comparable. We've actually found that really, really big tubers actually do worse than smaller tubers. We call it lazy tuber syndrome because they kind of rely more so on the tuber to feed the plant than actually establishing roots. So even if you get a tiny tuber like this, it is going to grow just fine. So if you look at this tuber right here, I'm going to try to show you guys where the eyes are. So you see this little tiny shoot coming off right there. It's kind of dark purple. That's an eye. So I personally inspect every single tuber to make sure that it has at least one eye. Same thing with the clump habit. All the varieties are a little bit different. Some will have green shoots, some will have red shoots. They can be hard to see if you don't know what you're looking for, but that is an eye that's going to turn into a plant. So every tuber has at least one eye. I've personally inspected them going up the farm. If you get yours home and the eye has fallen off, don't worry. It'll actually send lateral shoots out up above the eye. So don't worry if the shoot falls off. If you get it home and you have some really long shoots, as I'm packing them, I'm kind of doing this myself, but if you get them home and you have really long shoots on them, we actually normally cut them off. So see how tall that guy is right there? We normally would snip that off before we planted it just to encourage some lateral shoots to come out. But I've been kind of doing that as we've been packing the orders. All right, so like I said, size does not matter. What you guys are gonna do when you get them home, you're gonna plant them into an area that is full sun, well-draining soil. You don't want to plant them somewhere where there's heavy clay soil because if the soil holds onto a lot of moisture, these guys will rot. They do not like to be completely drenched in water. So you're going to plant these, I like to say at least like a hand width, about 6 inches, 6 inches deep to the bottom of the tuber. So I would plant, the dirt would come just about right here. I would actually cover up these sprouts. They will find their way up to the top. It doesn't matter which way you plant the tubers. Even if you plant the tuber upside down, that sprout's going to find its way up. We're not careful about how we position them in the ground when we plant on the farm, and they do just fine. So this guy's going to go in the ground, about that filled up with dirt. Cover it with dirt. You can give it one good watering, and then you're not going to want to water it too much until you see the sprouts start to come out of the ground, because again, if the soil gets really wet, these guys will rot, which you don't want to do. So plant these guys, well-draining soil, full sun. You should start to see shoots come out of the ground in about 2 weeks. If you don't see shoots come out of the ground, it's never a bad idea to actually kind of dig around and see what's going on down there, see if the tuber got too wet, if it rotted. We just like a good feeding of compost on top of the soil when we plant them. We don't really add any other amendments. You'll have to be a little wary of squirrels digging up your tubers. It happens. We have an entire boot camp that we teach about growing dahlias in the fall. It normally is the first weekend of November. Dahlias are a little bit finicky to grow, but they are addictive. Once you get your first blooms, you're going to be obsessed and you're going to want more dahlias. So I'm not going to go into how to divide or dig up or store dahlias in this video, but if you'd like to learn more about that, make sure that you're on our email newsletter to be notified when our Dahlia boot camp comes out this fall. And in that boot camp, you get hands-on experience with me in the field, see how we grow them, how we net them, and then we'll actually be digging up and dividing, and you guys can kind of get a hands-on experience with that. But feel free to email me if you have any questions, but happy planting. You should see these guys will kind of grow up a little bit, and then once the summer heat sets in, they will stall out a little bit. They do not like Maryland summers. They do not like the humidity, they don't like the heat, so they'll probably get to be about a foot tall. They're gonna stall out and just kind of do nothing all summer until we start to get into that cooler fall weather, and then they'll really start to take off. Dahlias peak here on the farm around September 26th, so expect, you know, beginning of September, you're really going to see some growth take off. We do recommend pinching your dahlias when they're about a foot tall. When your sprout is about a foot tall, you're going to cut the sprout in half. That is going to encourage lateral stems to shoot out. And then when you use them as cut flowers, same thing, you're going to cut very hard to encourage lateral growth coming out of the stems. But shoot me a message, email me if you guys have any questions, but happy planting and good luck with dahlia season this year.